We're live!
Mortal
Woo!
Kombat!
I just watched that. I watched that on
I
Friday.
haven't. I'm watching it today after this podcast.
Okay. Welcome in, everyone.
But I've been screaming that all week because it's coming.
That's fair.
To the surprise of my husband, he was like, "I didn't even know you knew like what that was." And I was like, "I'm so excited."
How would you not?
They didn't even do it in the newer games, do they? It was just the old ones.
Mortal Kombat. I have no idea. I haven't actually played Mortal Kombat, and I don't know how long.
So that's what I was explaining because he was like, "I didn't even know you knew what that was." He's like, "Have you played any of the games?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Have you seen any of the old movies?" I'm like, "No," but I'm excited for this one.
See, I assume so. I'd made the assumption you'd probably at least played a little bit of the old games or seen like the original movie, not just like.
Clips.
Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. It's been a while. I'm Grey Wolves. We had holidays and family functions, so we delayed. So welcome back. These are the people with me. They have names.
I made a decision to wait for Elliot, but I made coffee. I was like, I'm not gonna say anything until he speaks.
And I look at the camera, and you're both just like smiling, like nodding, like waiting, like. Eh?
Hi, I'm Platinum Trophy Wife. I'm a trophy hunter and a moat artist. I stream on Twitch TV /Platinum Trophy Wife.
Hi, I'm Blightside UK, and I play Final Fantasy, and I also am playing a retro game with Cyberpunk in the title. You've never heard of it, but it's fun to watch me play.
All right,
You've never heard of it.
I guess that's a thing today. I'm still me. I'm sorry. I apologize for this inconvenience.
Somehow I'm being introduced second. It's happening.
You're still last.
Oh
Mama raised a gentleman. Ladies first.
But you're the one who got on my case because I kept talking over you.
Well, look. Obviously,
listen. He's allowed to have double standards. Okay, he can both be mad that you interrupt him and expect you to go first.
I like it. I like it.
I
like it.
All right,
welcome in, everybody.
Woo! All right, so recap. What's everyone been up to the last like month or so? Blindside, we'll start with you.
Easter happened.
True.
That's all I really know. For some reason, I'm replaying the Fallout games. I played through Fallout 3, and now I'm doing Fallout 4 again, which has been like kind of my go-to at the moment. That and Paper Mario.
So, did you literally start with Fallout 1 and 2? Like you started?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So, when replaying the Fallout games as a plural, you meant not that.
Yeah, the games, not the old weird. I don't know, like some kind of old man would be into that kind of stuff where like he probably played them as a younger person, and then
I'll have you know, I was too poor to own a computer to play them when I was a younger person. So
more for you. I was poor.
That's why he grayed early. He was playing them, and they're like, only old men play this.
Like the scene from Santa Claus with Tim Allen. My hair's.
All I know of the old Fallout games is if your intelligence was like below 8 or something, you couldn't speak English.
Yeah, your character would talk in
your dialogue options were just like unintelligible, like garbled stuff.
Oh
and like kind of like, I mean, as a game dev, I suppose, just be like, yeah, fine. Like, no, nothing for you.
Yeah, no, the original Fallout games were very heavy. Like, there's a lot of combat, but like the world was very heavy in its dialogue and interactions and how you interacted with people. It was a huge focus. So if you made your character a complete idiot, it drastically changed how you interacted with people and your options, which was fun. Wow. Like, it was really cool.
Intelligence 8 for language, though? That seems very high.
Well, no, because like 10, like, so in D&D stats, like how it mostly works is like 10 is like average. Like you don't, no pluses, no minuses. Like that's just a, like, yeah, you get by.
10 was the max.
So 8 would be like -1, and then I don't know. I think Fallout, because Fallout 4, there's a perk called Idiot Savant, which basically the stupider you are, but the luckier you are, you randomly get like huge spikes of XP because your intelligence changes how much XP you get for stuff. So it's like, it's quite cool because if you have high intelligence, obviously you learn faster.
Right.
So obviously you level up quicker. But yeah, with this perk, like the lower your intelligence is, if your luck is high, randomly, like just your XP's like way more.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
To kind of counter that. So I'd quite like to. I'm playing stealth because I've never played stealth in a Fallout game. So I'm just sneaking around with a silenced pistol and just popping people.
Eventually, that gets my first play through Fallout 4. I did that, and eventually, it is nasty how much damage you do. Like you sneak up on like a death claw and just a couple rounds of the pistol, and it's just dead. You're like,
Bye, Deathclaw.
so.
Yeah.
And then my second
I've run
playthrough, I
into a
did a
couple of
melee
death claws.
only
It's
build.
not been that yet.
What?
I've run into a couple of death claws so far, and it has not been
Yeah,
that
no.
yet.
It takes a little while. But yeah, then my second playthrough of Fallout 4, I did a melee only build, and that starts out very rough. But like by late game, you are just teleporting around, smashing people with hammers and shit.
Yeah, my first playthrough was unarmed build, which if you go to Swan's Lake, you get a power fist that does more damage the more times you hit someone. And that with the blitz perk, which is like you can melee from further away and
Yeah,
VATS,
that's
like,
where you teleport. Yeah,
that gets silly, like because you just VATS to someone and you're just pummeling their face in.
yeah,
And it's basically like a power fist with a block of cement, like rebar cement in
yeah.
it, and you're just like absolutely obliterating people. But yeah, so that was my first playthrough, and it was just super broken, and
Yeah.
I was just.
So are you starting with 3?
I did 3, so I played 3 recently. I'm not doing it on stream. I'm just kind of playing it for my own
Enjoyment.
yeah.
And so now you're on 4.
And now I'm playing 4.
Did you do New Vegas?
No, I haven't played New Vegas in a while. I played New Vegas when it came out.
I didn't think that was allowed.
What, to not
You're
play
like,
New Vegas?
I'm
Yeah.
replaying all the Fallouts. By all of them, I mean two
No.
specific.
Yeah, because I was like, you're not playing 1 and 2. You're not playing New Vegas. That's only 2 games. Right?
I never said all. You're taking that from obviously my history of at the
No, I
moment
think
playing
you did
every
say
Final
all.
Fantasy game, which
I
I've
think
already
you
like
said,
binned off
"I'm playing the
tactics. I didn't beat The
Fallout
Last Boss for
games."
2. If I'm anything, I'm inconsistent, Platt. That's my one consistency.
There's one thing you can count on. It's how much you can't count on you.
Me, I'm dishonest, and you can always trust a dishonest man to be dishonest. Honestly, it's the honest ones you want to watch out for.
All right, Platt, what have you been up to? How's your month?
I feel like I haven't really been up to anything. I had all that time to think of something, and I'm like, I don't know what I've done. I've hung out with family.
Woo, family.
Yeah, I hung out with family. I'm trying to even remember what game I finished before Hollow Knight, and I can't remember. But right now I'm playing Hollow Knight, and
I love
it's really
Hollow Knight.
hard.
Hollow Knight was really good.
Have you played it before?
This is my first playthrough.
Oh, Hollow Knight's so good.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm stuck on a boss. I cried on stream, and now I'll go back to it and defeat him.
That sounds like the true Hollow Knight experience. At least, like you're doing it. At least we know you're playing the right game.
Yeah, apparently I got into an area before I'm supposed to. I'm like at an end game boss, and I'm too stubborn to not like just go away and come back when I'm more powerful. So I will beat him.
I do the same thing.
Very hard. And well, my geo's like stuck there, you know, kind of thing. Cause like you go through the first gate, it closes behind you. And then you can defeat yourself and get your geo back, but then you're stuck in the boss area. You can't get out. So I could try to lure him out. I think it is able to like lure him out and then defeat him, and then you could just go away. But I'm like, meh, I'll do it.
That happened to me in Near Automata or whatever the official name was. And there's a guy you can fight, and he's not an end boss so much as like an optional fight you can trigger to like do whatever. And like you were meant to be like at least twice the level I was.
Right.
And like I learned his patterns. So I wasn't really taking damage, but it was when I was streaming and Toddy was there at the time. It took me a good 2 hours of chipping away at his health before I beat him. And this took multiple
so it's
attempts.
really long.
So yeah, it was just like it took me multiple attempts to learn his patterns, and then just 2 hours of chipping away because I was determined.
I know. I do the same. It's so frustrating. But I can't like leave.
Yeah.
No, the number of times in like Souls games or Hollow Knight, like where I'm just like, oh no, my souls are in that boss room that I'm stuck on. Oh well, you can always go get more souls. There's more souls in other places.
No,
I don't need those ones.
no. But it's so funny because I started with like 1500 geo, like
Mhm.
when I found the boss, and which really isn't like, I mean, it's a lot, but it's not like a ton. But and there's only one enemy I kill on the way back, and I've made it all the way to like 2000 geo just in the attempts of going back and
Yep.
getting about like 4 to 10 geo each time.
That's what happens. And now you can't stop because now you have
And
like
now I have
5,000.
2000. So it was slow and frustrating, but I'm like really close. I feel like if I have one good run, like I'll
Yeah.
do it. So
Do you ever have the time where in a game you get to like a boss fight and you get within like a hair's beating that boss, and then every reattempt you get utterly destroyed, and you're
yeah,
like,
like not even close.
you're like what did I do that first time? Like,
I know. Cause there was like an attempt, I think like 2 or 3 hours in, that I like, cause it's the boss where there's like 2 of them at one time,
okay,
and then like once you kill one, another one comes out, and then you kill that one, another one comes out. So I got like where I think I killed like 4 of them, so I think there was like 2 or 3 left. And I did that like 2 hours in, and I was like, oh, well then I like got this. Like give me 60 more attempts, and I'll do it. And then like 3 hours later, I'm like not even getting close to defeating 4 of them. I was like, what the fuck happened?
yep, that's a speedrunner's life right there. I finally
Oh
learned
my
this trick.
gosh.
I'm good to go. 50 attempts later, I don't know why I can't pull this. I don't like what.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And then Turtle remind me that I beat Life is Strange 2 before
Okay.
this one. So that was the one I did before, which was extremely enjoyable.
Nice.
I like that one a lot. But
Right.
it was completely forgettable, obviously.
I loved it, I think.
I loved it so much. And then I don't know. I think I'm like of the time I forget what I've done.
Okay.
I mean, Hollow Knight clearly just takes so much of like your mental capacity that it's just
yeah.
all other games gone.
Yeah.
I don't know about other games now. There's Hollow Knight or nothing.
There's games coming out? I don't understand.
No.
Oh, and then I pre-ordered Kena or Kenna when it was available. Like the second it was available to pre-order,
Yeah.
I pre-ordered it. So I have like T minus 120 something days.
Any
to
second
play.
now.
Any second. You know, I check up on it every once in a while.
I have not pre-ordered it because I still don't have a PS5, so someday.
That's sad.
Gray was too poor for a computer. Now I'm too poor for a PS5. So who's really winning here?
It's me.
That's funny.
Because I'm not too poor to buy a PS5. I just haven't.
To be fair, at this point, like this has been the great equalizer. Right? It doesn't matter how rich you are, no one can get a PS5.
Yeah.
True.
Like, that's
Very
it.
true.
Everybody's frustrated.
So I think I told you guys this. There's a point where a bunch of us were trying to help. Who was it? Lady in Toddy's Discord trying to get one. So like
Okay.
every time it would pop up in Walmart, there's like 8 of us attempting to buy one, all to get one copy for her. And none of us ever got anywhere close. Like occasionally we'd successfully get to the add it to cart, but when we'd try to get to the cart, it would crash and we couldn't check out and stuff like that. Like a bunch of us were trying, and I had a friend who that same day got one, accidentally shipped it to the wrong address, so got another one, and then later just canceled the first one. I was like, we had 8 people couldn't get one, and you succeeded twice in the same afternoon. I was like, you motherfucker.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he went too fast and entered an old address.
Right.
So when 10 minutes later, when Walmart was doing like every 10 minutes, they just tried again, got it, and then just canceled that one. I was like, you motherfucker.
That's insane. Are you trying to get one, or are you
No, not right now.
just
I'm in no
waiting?
rush. Like, I can wait.
But like, do you want one though?
Yeah, eventually I'll get a PS5. But like, I'm fine to wait till when it's just like in stock and I can just get one.
Michael has the magic touch. We can probably get you one.
I appreciate it, but I'm okay for now.
Okay.
Is that just a weird word for like how good he is at shoplifting?
Yes.
Like,
No, it's how inappropriate he is at the store when he's buying
things. We don't ask
he's
questions.
Got a guy. We're not gonna say his name. the underbelly of Sony's market.
He's got the magic touch known as 5-finger discount. You know, he can acquire it if you need it.
Yeah, he said he's gotten 8 PS5s for people.
Jesus.
Well,
So I'm just saying.
Where was he when
I'm
we were trying
probably
to get
gonna
one for
hold
Lady
off on
then?
it.
Well, we didn't know that you were.
I mean, I
doing
didn't know
that.
to reach out to Mike. I didn't realize that was the guy. I didn't know
Bro,
he was
I got
the
a
man.
guy. That's my husband. He gets PS5s.
That's what he does. He exists and he gets
He just
PS5.
gets them.
Yep. He drinks and gets PS5s.
I mean, there was a hot minute where you could make a nice profit on that. So.
I know. Well, yeah, we didn't do that kind of stuff because obviously that's a shit thing to do, and
Oh
I
yeah,
hate people who do that.
agreed.
It was all for people who wanted the PS5, and we didn't upsell it or anything.
Why she married me console sales.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good reason to marry someone. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm probably just gonna.
I
So
was
I'm gonna
like,
do with the
eventually.
PS5. I'm gonna do with the PS5 what I did with the PS4, which is just wait for something to come out that I am interested in,
Yeah.
and then buy it then, so that I don't have to like fork out as much money. Hopefully.
Well,
Yeah.
in
With Final
120
Fantasy Remake
something
2.
days, I think there is a game you'll be interested in.
Yeah,
Wow.
like at the moment, like I want to play Spider-Man, but I'm in no rush. Like there's games on the PS5. I'm like, I would like to play it, but it's not. I must buy it to play that now. Like I'm
Mhm.
very interested in Kina as well, but I'll just wait and then get it later. Like I'm not
Yeah,
too big of a deal. So,
I get you.
but
I get you.
but yeah. So let's see. What have I been up to? I recently completely reread the Cradle series because a new book came out. I love that series. It's so good.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, there's 9 books so far, and each is anywhere between 9 to like 12 hours audiobook wise. So they're not
Okay.
huge books, but they're good. They're like the size of a Dresden book. But I really, really like the series. Um,
Cool.
so I reread that whole series because again the 9th book came out. I
Mhm.
recently played and beat a game called 13 Sentinels, which is really good. It's an Atlas game on PS4,
Okay.
and you can't say too much about the game without giving away essential information about the game.
Okay.
But it undersold, but it was really like review wise, it did well. It just didn't sell.
I feel like I've heard of it before.
Yeah, it's a very in-depth story game. And I really like the combat. It's just I was extremely happy with the game and thoroughly recommend people play it.
Okay.
And now I'm currently working my way through Last of Us 2. So
Yes.
I'm at the
I know that
spoilers.
game.
I'm at the point where we just flashed back to when she found out what happened at the hospital.
Gotcha.
So, which I was surprised that her character was gonna when playing her. I was surprised her character found out 2 years ago. Like I thought that was
Yeah.
gonna be a revelation while we were playing, not a revelation that she had already had.
Yeah.
So, but I'm enjoying it so
glad
far.
they did it that way though.
Yeah,
Cause yeah.
I agree. Like I was dreading having to deal with like as I was dreading having to deal with her character struggling with learning that while we're doing other stuff, but to find out she'd
Yeah.
already done that, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, she's already grieved that and she's like past.
Yeah.
Like it's still in her, like she's still struggling with it, but it's not like fresh and
Yeah,
raw.
that's a hard thing to cope with. Like you
Yeah.
potentially could have saved humanity, but oh well.
Yep. That decision was taken from you.
So, but yeah, so that's been my month. Oh, I recently renovated my downstairs bathroom, and literally the day after I finished, the hose on the toilet broke, shooting water all over my newly renovated downstairs bathroom. So now I need to redo a good chunk of the work.
Who put the hose on?
I did.
That bastard.
But so the thing is, it was the existing hose for the toilet, and I'd already done work on the 2 upstairs toilets and kept those hoses. And I hand tighten the hose. I don't worry about tools, so I'm not really thinking I'm going to break the plastic. But either I did manage to break it, or it just happened to be more worn than I realized, and it snapped, shooting water all over my newly
Oh
renovated.
my gosh.
And like I was, so now I got to do a chunk of it again, and I'm very sad.
13
This is why I'm a
Sentinels
useless
is
millennial and I
a full
hire
60?
professionals.
Is what?
Yeah.
So
You hire professionals.
Yeah, because I'm a useless millennial. We don't have any skills.
I'm a millennial.
We just We just hire people.
Barely. But anyway, so there was the.
You
I don't know if
Gen
it's gonna do
Xer.
this. Oh, let me turn off this light. There we go. There was the color of our walls. I don't know how well it's coming on the camera.
It's not coming up.
Focus.
Because like they were orange.
You sound like
but
every
it looks
teacher I
just
had
white.
at school.
There we go.
Oh, nailed it.
So this is after I took the toilet out. Before I took off the tiles and painted the walls, and then the finished of that same section before I put the toilet back in. After I painted the walls, tiled, and plastered. Come on. Fix.
I
Focus.
can see me. Hi, look, it's me.
There you are.
Wait.
Oh yeah.
Focus. So there was the new one with the bluer walls, the new
I love
tiles.
the tile.
So.
And the walls.
But see that hose hanging up right over here? Mm-hmm. That little sucker's this thing that snapped and shot water over my goddamn new bathroom. So.
Ain't it the way?
So yeah, that's been my life. So there we go.
Yeah.
All right, that was the pass onto sort of present stuff. Gaming news.
The Josh battle.
Oh my god, it made me so happy that happened.
What
the
happened?
Josh battle.
The battle
do you
of
know
the
about
Josh?
the Josh battle.
So like
battle?
Like a year ago, a guy named Josh created a massive group on Facebook inviting everyone named Josh they could find and gave them a GPS coordinates to a field called Josh Field and said in 1 year we will fight to see who gets to keep the name Josh.
Okay.
Yesterday, they are like 1,000+ Joshes all met up at this field with like foam noodles and like battled to be the last person named Josh.
Okay.
And like that's it. Like they just.
And then well, that's not it. They
raised a bunch of money for charity. They deemed this one kid as the winner. He's like an 8-year-old kid named Josh. He was deemed the winner and stuff like that. And they released a bunch of money for charity for him because he's in a cancer battle. And then there were 2 people named Josh Swaim that were there. And they did Rochambeau in a circled crowd to see who gets to keep the name Josh Swaim. Like it's like you can find like clips all over the like Imgur and all that.
Cute.
Like a massive battle of Joshes.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
There you go.
Now
Learn
you know.
something new every day. That's why I'm on this podcast.
We're here to educate.
You learn something new every day. That's why I'm on this
niche.
podcast every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, that I can say at least I learned something.
So yeah, no, it was really like you can find clips and videos and stuff like that of them running around with like pool noodles, like battling and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's adorable.
I really hope a lot of them do change their name because again, the 8-year-old kid won. He's the only one allowed to be named Josh, according to the rules.
The only
but I'm
remaining
not
Josh.
doing that.
Well, I mean, you're not named Josh to begin with, so obvi.
You don't know.
I do know, actually.
You don't know.
I've been around since the very beginning, class when you were as cautious about your name. I do know your first name.
Are you talking about my actor name?
Okay, it's fair enough. I don't know if it's your real name or actor name, but neither.
Like,
but whatever one it is,
know.
it's not Josh.
Imagine it was.
No, like I said, and I
time.
concede. You're right. I fully admit I don't. I forgot about that, but I know it wasn't Josh. Anyway.
So what is happening with video games? There's like 4 games coming out this week, right?
Are there?
Is Village out this week? Or is that... It's stuff that's soon. It's like there's a big chunk of lots of games coming out at once because everyone's mad about it.
I thought Village had just like a demo thing this week that was happening, not like an actual release of the game.
Yeah, that ended because I know someone missed it.
Yeah, because it was yesterday.
Is this in date order? What date is it today?
The 25th.
It's the 25th of April in 2021.
Which is the perfect date.
Imagine doing this research stuff before.
All you need is a light sweater.
So you don't know about Josh, but you got that reference.
It's a movie.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna know a whole lot more about movies than I do in real life.
Okay, so the PS5 and Xbox Judgment release, and then obviously the near replicant version 1.22474487139 like are both on the same day. Wait, April 30th is new Pokemon Snap. I am absolutely getting. I don't buy games new. I'm getting Pokemon Snap. It's happening.
All I can think of right now is Monty Python, and there's much rejoicing. Yay!
Yay! And they ate Sir Robin's bards, and there was much rejoicing.
I never really cared about Pokemon Snap.
May 7th. Did you play it on the N64 though?
Yes.
So I played it on my Pokemon N64, and I had a whale of a time. But then again, I was a child, so
correct.
I was pretty easily pleased.
I think we were all children at the time.
Well,
what year did N64 come out?
Except Wolves. He was a full-grown adult.
I was a child for about 5 years, and then I was an adult.
Gray was born in a suit with a tie. He's just like,
I believe.
Mother? And then he just left. And he went on his own.
Mother?
Mother?
With a British accent, too. And then he accustomed to the American accent afterward.
21st of March, 1999.
Oh, I started ninth grade in 1999.
I was 8.
I was also 8.
I started high school that year.
You're so old.
I started 9th grade, which was high school, on September 9th, 1999.
How do you know that?
Because it was 9/9/99, 9th grade.
But you retain this knowledge?
It's all 9s. I remember the number 9.
I wouldn't even attribute at the time that it's like, oh, today's 9/9. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. It's like, oh, we're starting school. I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, but
who cares?
What you need to understand is there were thousands of kids starting 9th grade on September 9, 1999. It was kind of a thing that we had talked about because it was a thing. It's not one thing I'm an obscure person noticed. There were thousands of us.
Right.
You also have to remember there wasn't the internet, so there wasn't a lot on. So they just counted shit.
Hey,
that's all the entertainment back then.
That was when AIM was at its peak, and you'd go to the AIM chat rooms and you try to find people and be like ASL, and
ASL baby. And but that's true because my friend who's older than me, they almost graduated on 666, but because it was 666, they didn't allow that. So they literally made them graduate on 656, so that way it wasn't 666. So I remember that date, and that wasn't even me. So I get you. That's cool.
There you go.
I also bought a Dreamcast on 9.
There you go. See?
So apparently it's a very memorable date. I was 8. I do not remember any of that.
I remember playing Pokemon Snap.
There you go.
I had Pokemon Stadium as well. Pokemon Stadium 2 was pretty lit, but there was that thing that you could put on the... Oh no, it was it went back to the controller and you could put a game cartridge in and you could play Game Boy Pokemon through your N64 on the cartridge. It didn't look any better. It probably looked garbage because it was on a TV instead of a little shit LED screen, but the novelty.
Oh, that was launch day for the Dreamcast. 9/9/99.
9/9/9/9/9.
I graduated college in 2007.
I'm not gonna say it. I've already made too many jokes. I feel bad.
I've never felt bad for anything in my life.
I'm 36.
That's not true. You felt bad when you called your cat pussies.
Oh yeah, no, that's...
Yeah, wait.
I was drunk though. We all get emotional when we're drunk.
You're all pussies.
No, you felt bad once, and I'm gonna remind you.
Yeah. It's that one time you regretted a thing.
Well, because you were like, I feel really bad, and I was like, I don't think you should. I think it was hilarious.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know why I felt bad. I was just probably shouldn't just call a group of people pussies just off the cuff. Whilst dabbing as well. That's not a good look for me.
No, dabbing is never a good look for anyone.
Just dabbing away, calling everyone a pussy.
Because you didn't both. You're like, I beat Seguro. You're a pussy. You kept going back and forth.
That's right. I'm not drunk. First time.
Oh, that's right.
Seguro.
I'm not drunk.
I like how you remember. I like how you remember your order. I feel like you go back and rewatch like a clip of this every now.
Well, it's a part of his trailer.
It's in my trailer and my raid video. So
yeah, like it's a really popular clip of his, but he felt really bad at the time. But it's in all his marketing and branding now.
The best bit is how I've edited it, so whenever I show it in any other like media, I cut off the bit where I'm like, oh wait, not the last bit. just take that bit out. Like, yeah, ballsy blindside. He just tells everyone they're pussies and he doesn't care.
He's like, you're all pussies. He's like, wait, no, not that last part.
wait.
I immediately regret the things that I have said.
It's really good.
All right, so what else? We got some games coming out. We got the Battle of the Joshes. Hot tub streams are a thing that came and are on their way out already.
Okay, so I don't understand these hot tub time machine streams. Like, I don't understand why people are upset about them. Like, how are these different from any other e-girl stream?
Because it's the next level of that.
Oh, like, how dare they wear scandally things and be in water versus scandally things and not being in water? Unbelievable! So, like, riot in the streets!
Hey, everyone knows water makes things 50% more attractive.
That's true.
Okay, but that's just using
Have you even ever heard of a t-shirt contest? No. Wet t-shirt contest rife across the whole country. But no, I think it was like people before were just like, oh yeah, you can't like just sat around playing video games in like nothing but like a sports bra and like booty shorts and like, oh, you're making it obvious. So then they all went and got in hot tubs and they're like, okay, we get it, hot tubs and bikinis. But like, I think they just see it as a.
I don't know. Like, I think it's just because I've seen many Just Chatting streams where they're like on the beach in bikinis, and I'm just kind of like, what's the like? Why is there more rage for hot tub than this? Just don't watch it. If you don't
probably
watch
because
it.
Yeah. I think there was more of a pain because it trended bigger. So it was popping up on the front page of Twitch. Like people like on the beach, stuff like that. I think they were one-offs or on occasion where the hot tubs became like a fad. So like you were seeing 3, 4, 5, 6 streams on the front page of predominantly women in hot tubs. Some outside, some like lugged it inside and were like in their room in like an inflatable tub.
Oh, see, now they deserve my view. That's effort.
So,
I mean, I still don't get the like. Okay, so it's a trend. You still don't need to watch it. I swear, you can go right past that front page. I promise you.
Yeah, no, like my standpoint always sticks to like for most of the people like who complain, which are generally guys like me who look like me, like people are just going there to watch that. It's like probably, but that means they were never gonna watch you to begin with.
Exactly.
Like, there's not that person out there goes, do I want to watch wolves or a girl in a hot tub? It's a toss up. Like if they're there,
today she's in a hot tub, so I'm gonna pass wolves.
Yeah, like there's not a conflict of viewers there, really.
Yeah.
Most of what I've seen is like the other end of it. Like obviously, because you're always gonna get the people that's like, stop my views. But like most of the people that I've seen, I mean, probably because like, so I'm really careful and curate my Twitter. Like anyone that even remotely annoys me, I'm just like mute. But like a lot of people I've seen is like it's more about like because if you are a Twitch streamer, then obviously like at a point, especially if you're a partner Twitch streamer, like you're affiliated with Twitch, who is also affiliated with everyone else on Twitch. So it becomes a bit like, so if you went to, I don't know, a business meeting or whatever, and you were like, oh yeah, I stream on Pornhub, and they're like, what with all the porn? Like, no, I play for Final Fantasy games, and it's like, wait, but you're on that website where there's all the porn. I think like there's a lot of people who their issue is more about the fact that it's like Twitch streaming is becoming almost like synonymous with like like soft core cam girling, and I think it's people being like, but I'm there creating this thing like music or whatever, and then it's like, and then so much of the website is this other thing they then are like, there are other websites for that.
That argument I get and I understand. Like that one I'm way more supportive of in terms of Twitch started as a thing and they tried to broaden their horizons to get a bigger base, and now like certain bubbles of that are kind of going a bit too far in like these directions, and I get that. Like that argument I get. It's the, they're stealing my viewers. No, they're not. Fuck off. Like that. Yeah. That is dumb. Like I've always maintained like there's no doubt in my mind if I thought like wearing a shirt that did more of this would give me more views, I would do that in a heartbeat. Like I fully like so some people have that option and they take it, and good on you. Like 100% good on you. Some have that option and don't take it, still good on you. Like I don't care. Like
Mhm.
you do what you want to do to make the channel how you want to make it. And if you
Mhm.
show cleavage because you want to, cool. If you show cleavage just because you happen to have it and you're comfortable in your clothes and you're like it's not a conscious decision, again, cool on you. I don't give a shit. But
Right.
I get what you're saying. If people are focusing purely on the sexy appeal aspect on Twitch, that seems to kind of drift away from the brand of Twitch as opposed to allowing people the option while doing so.
Sure.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
want to get to what Turtle said,
Yes,
but I just like, but I just feel like Twitch has already been, if you want to, if you want to use the word like, the branding of Twitch has changed with
yeah.
with all the e-girls, and like I said, like so many of the just chatting is that, but
Mhm.
just without water. So I'm like, it already was this, and it's still very much about gaming. You
Yeah.
know, yes, it could go off in that direction, but like, I just don't see how this is much different from before.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like I said, it's just an increasing offshoot bubble that people want to pop.
sure,
Like they don't want
yeah,
that bubble to get too big, so they want to like
mm-hmm.
stop and stuff like that. And then yeah, what you're saying back to what Turtle was saying is Twitch has this weird rule where like it's appropriate clothing is roughly how they describe it most of the time. So like if I'm sitting in a computer chair in a room in the middle of the winter wearing a bikini gaming, that's not appropriate to that situation.
yes.
But suddenly
Right,
I'm in water doing all the same thing. Now it's appropriate wear because I'm in water. So like it's this weird like
It's like situational. It's like if you're in the
yeah,
gym, you could be wearing gym clothes. If you're at the
right,
beach, you can be wearing beach clothes. Like, but
yeah.
if you're sat in your living room and you're like in whatever, then it's like, yeah, okay. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah, so people are
I mean,
abusing
I
the
kind of
idea of
see.
appropriate by changing the situation so now they can wear what they want because
yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
because
it's smart
we
on
had
them.
Mixer. Mixer was like
again,
really
if I
strict
could,
on like,
like if I
I know.
thought
I was like, that's smart of them. They're like, all right, well, let's just move the stream over here, kind of thing.
yeah.
yeah, I think because I've always thought like every time there's people being like, oh well, Twitch isn't doing this or we don't like this about Twitch, like the real answer to that is basically if you don't like the way Twitch does stuff, go make your own platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think it's that much of a problem and it's that like it's a systematic issue which is making Twitch worse, go make your own platform that doesn't have it. It will be better than Twitch. It will succeed.
Yeah.
And then if that doesn't succeed, then it's because it wasn't making a difference.
Right.
But I mean, Mixer was like really strict on like clothing stuff, and they were like, yeah, you can't. Like their rules were like oddly specific, and then they sold it instantly. They made a load of money, and then they binned it. So
Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny. It was they were strict in variables, but it was all very common sense. Like it was all just like don't show
no
your midriff,
underboob.
kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Like it was all like really easy to follow, to be honest with you. And like it wasn't much different from Twitch. They just had the variables to be like this is the line,
Yeah.
which I feel like Twitch doesn't have in their rules of clothing, because like you said, it's appropriate, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where and like Mixer has the same thing, or they did when they were around.
Mhm.
Rip. um like where they were like, there are exceptions to the rule, but like this is the normal thing, and they would have like the variables, but Twitch doesn't have any of that. So it's just like, but it's just appropriate, which is really frustrating from the general standpoint, because then you do have these, oh well, they're getting banned but they're not, but
Yeah.
they're getting banned but they're not, which is the most, I think that's what this is really bringing up, is like those conversations,
Yeah.
because those are what's the most frustrating, is why these people and not these people who also happen to be partnered.
Yeah.
Like, not hard to see what's going on.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. And so like as Twitch tries to get more lenient in some areas, people are exploiting that, and then it's upsetting people who are getting in trouble who aren't trying to exploit that. They just get caught in this one weird rule that Twitch changed at some point. Like, but I wasn't
Right.
like I just and it's the thing like the amount of people who've gotten banned because like they're doing like chat interactive things and someone in chat sends a link and they click it by mistake and it's the briefest second of something inappropriate may have popped up on screen and they're banned.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
other people who are working within the rules, but pushing everything to the extreme limits, and they're fine.
Right.
So like that's
Yeah. And you have examples of like partner streamers doing stuff, and you're just like, if I did that and I wasn't partnered, I would be banned. But because they're partnered, they're getting away with it, even though both were accidental. You know, kind of thing. It's like, it's frustrating.
That's what happens. And now Twitch is cracking down on view botting.
Oh.
And like certain streamers have lost like millions of followers in a clean swipe from Twitch, just like deleting view bots.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see no negative.
Yeah, that's finally. Because that like viewbotting's been an issue for a while, and they've always just said like, if you're viewbotting and we find out, you're banned.
Yeah.
And now it seems like they're actively seeking out viewbots.
Yeah, because the problem is, then people go to Fiverr, spend $5 to get someone viewbotted, and they're banned. So like,
yeah, I think that's what was, because I've seen so many like people getting follow botted recently that it seems to be like really, really rampant. And I've seen a lot of like small streamers, because I mod for a stream community, so we have a lot of like people that have literally started in like the last month.
Yeah.
And they'll be on like their third or fourth stream, and then they're like, I was streaming and now I have 900 extra followers, and I'm worried because Twitch TOS is like, if you have follow bots, you'll get banned.
Yeah.
But like, I think, to be honest, I reckon one of the big things that pushed Twitch is Commander Root came out with a tool to block all the follow bots.
Yeah.
And I think this seems to be Twitch's kind of MO, is they'll say a problem like, oh, well, we don't know how to fix a problem. And then someone else will release a fix.
Yeah.
And then they'll suddenly be like, wow, we better take some action here. Like, it seems to happen with a lot of stuff with Twitch. They wait until someone else comes up with a fix, and then they go like, oh, well, fuck, let's get this sorted. And it's just like, this has been going on for years. What the fuck are you talking about?
A bot too? So you can allow that bot to block other bots?
Yeah, so basically there's like a list. So Commander Root, I think the tool has a list of like known follow bot accounts. And effectively, there's like millions of them, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And effectively, you can give it access to like your Twitch somehow, and it just blocks everyone on that list.
Oh,
but apparently, it takes like hours. Like it just runs. This command just runs, and it blocks all these people.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know a couple big names were thrown out there, like XQC and like a couple other people. Like overnight, lost like millions of followers, like 2 to 3 millions of followers. I don't know how it's affected their actual average viewers.
Yeah, I would think it wouldn't.
Yeah, like their average viewers probably don't change too much, but their number of followers dropped drastically. Like anywhere between like one person lost like a third of their followers. So
I keep trying to explain to people, because like you get a lot of people that are really obsessed with like that follower number, because
I
get it, number get big, brain be happy, but like it's the metric that Twitch doesn't give a shit about, because realistically it's just time invested.
Yeah.
Like if you stream for long enough, like your followers are gonna go up, because no one ever unfollows.
I unfollow all the time.
When's the last time you actively thought like, I have to go unfollow this person that I followed ages ago? Which is why I have like way too many people followed on Twitch.
You know, I 100%
occasionally like a wave.
Yeah, it's not that I seek out someone. I pop in and I'm like, I don't. Or like, because again, my landing page for Twitter is to my follow section to who I'm watching. And there might be someone like after several months, I'm like, I haven't gone in to watch this person at all. And like, I have nothing against them, but I'm like, I just want to pop them off.
Yeah, I don't watch them anymore, so I'm just gonna take them off so that way they're not keep popping up on my live list.
And 9 times out of 10, if I do that, it's usually a bigger name streamer. Like smaller streamers, I rarely go in and do it. But I have. So.
Yeah. Totally.
I don't really follow any big streamers. I think that's probably. I followed like loads of people years ago. Like when I first started watching Twitch, I'd be like, "Oh, I'll watch like one stream of this, and one stream of this, and one."
Did you
and like
follow
I was I'm just following everyone. No, follow for follow.
I'll follow you if you follow me back.
I've always found that weird.
Yeah, no,
just like
most of those early day people
watches my content.
Yeah, most of those early day people I don't follow anymore, because in the beginning a lot of it was I followed people mostly because I was interested in the game they were playing and less about the person. As time goes on, it shifted, which is why it's rarely that I unfollow smaller streamers, because usually I like the person and the game is irrelevant. But there are the occasional ones that like I've been following for a while. I'm like, man, I haven't watched this person forever. Like I don't. So then I go in and pop up. But again, it's usually because I still have a couple bigger name people that I follow, but less and less as time goes on.
Yeah.
I have about 2 hours a week that I actually watch streams, so I'm very rarely on my follow page.
Yeah, it's sad that I don't get to watch Twitch as much as I used to be able to. Because like I work till usually 5:36. I get home, I cook dinner, I sit down, eat dinner with my wife. Now it's like 8 o'clock, and like go up in bed, play some games in bed, and go to sleep. It's rarely like I'm ever just like sitting on the computer watching Twitch and like I used to. Like
Yeah.
Old man Gray in bed by 8.
I don't
Yep.
go to sleep till like midnight, but I'm in bed because my wife goes to bed and she
Got a
likes
mug of
cuddles.
hot milk.
So
It's got the sheets for the day.
I just picture like Wolves like with the sheets up to here with like his glass of warm milk, and he's just like.
He's in
nice.
like one of those real like pajama suit things.
Yeah.
He's still got his slippers on in the bed. The covers are up to here, but his feet are poking out. And you just see his like moccasin slippers.
that's it.
It's a good look, dude.
Next podcast, I'm wearing my onesie, my bedtime onesie.
Got one of those night shirts. Gets all the way down.
With the little like the hat, you know, that like goes over.
My candle and
the Christmas Carol hat.
That's Wolves with his warm glass of milk.
Man, I get older and older as the stream goes on. Apparently, I was born in the 1600s, and
Ellie and I are gonna be like little babies by the end of it. We're gonna be like, we didn't do anything.
oh man. Oh. All right. What else is going on in the world? All right. Well, enough about the actual gaming world. Something I kind of mentioned: backlog. So,
what?
backlog games that like your backlog of games. Like,
Backlog's
is there a
what
game?
burst that pipe on his toilet.
Is there a game or games in your backlog that you always look at and like, man, I really want to play that, but you just keep because I have a bunch of backlog games that I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna play that. But there's a couple like I'm always like Fallout 76. Like that game has gone through a lot of patches. Apparently, it's way better, and I really want to play it someday. It just keeps going through. Alien Isolation. Own the game. Really want to play it, but it keeps just popping back in my backlog, and I never really find my time to like get around and play it and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have that game where you're always like, man, I really got to play that game, and then you just keep not.
Yeah, I think the closest I have, because it's kind of funny. We were just talking about backlogs, and I was like, there's not too many games that I get that I'm like not gonna play, or like I have like a plan, for.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the closest is the Spyro games, the new remastered ones.
Oh, that's
I
like
got
the
them
trilogy or
ages
whatever.
ago. Yeah, I got them ages ago because I was like, I want to play those, and I've never played them before, so it would be a brand new, playthrough. And I planned to play them like that month,
yeah,
kind of thing. And then like games keep coming out, and I'm like, well, I'd rather play this than that, but I still really want to play it.
Yeah.
So I think that one for sure, because I keep buying more indie games, so it keeps going lower and lower on the priority list.
Yeah, see, that's what happens. Like, I have a couple of those games, and like, I really want to play them. I just keep not. like.
And yeah, and then because there's a couple of games that I've started and I've since stopped.
Oh, I got a boatload. I got a whole mess of those games.
I want to play them so bad, and they just keep going, and it's because they're really long. It's Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's like, these are commitment games. You don't just pick it up. These are commitment games. So it's Red Redemption 2, and then what's the other one? Witcher 3.
Okay.
I've started, loved both of them like a lot, and then I stopped them for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone back because it's a commitment to go back now.
That happened to me with the samurai game.
Sekiro?
No.
Neo.
No.
Oh, the new one, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. That happened with that.
Won.
Because like I completed like the whole first area, and like I feel like you unlock everything in like the first half of the game, and then the second half of the game feels just like a lot of nothing changing, and like I just slowly drifted away.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why they did that, or maybe I just spent too much time trying to unlock everything on the first island and not doing the main quest. That like once you like do that, then you're just kind of like, there's not much left to unlock. I've unlocked the weapons, the armor, the shield, but I have like these chunks of islands I still need to do, and I'm like, why?
Were you not interested in
Why?
the story then? Because that's what it sounds like.
I mean I not enough. Like
Right,
I
obviously.
enjoyed the story as it was doling out to me, but the so for me either the story needs to be so good that I don't care how bad or boring the gameplay is, or the gameplay needs to be so good I don't care how bad the story play is, and ideally I like
Mm-hmm.
it in the middle. And the gameplay was the story isn't so good. The fact that I've unlocked everything means the story isn't so good that I'm going to keep playing because now I'm bored of the gameplay is the problem I
Mm.
ran into. Like the game
Hmm.
is stunning. Like it's gorgeous and I love the gameplay. I love walking up to a keep and like just challenging people then running in and murdering instead of sneaking. Like I love doing that. But like I said, you unlock everything on the first island. And there's stuff you can unlock on the later like sections of island. But like not really. And now I'm like, eh.
Well, I mean, you can. I don't know how you like went to the top of everything in the first island.
Well, yeah, there are things you can do, but you have like all of your skills are basically unlocked with a couple caveats that aren't really that game changing.
Hmm.
Like that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that are left that you can unlock, but aren't significant enough changes that the gameplay changes. Like for completionists,
Yeah.
yes, but for gameplay mechanics, it's there's nothing.
Well, because I got obsessed with like doing all the shrines.
Yeah,
So that kept me going from island to island because I wanted to find all the shrines and climb up and do the little cinematic at the top.
which is fair. But you are also a trophy hunter. Your mindset is
Yeah.
already more so of
Yeah.
completionist than I am. So like
Yeah.
I like to do a lot most of the
But
things,
it
but
sounds
eventually
like you went around trying to complete a whole bunch of stuff, and that's the issue.
yes, and that's my fault, not the game's fault. I admit that, and I do that a lot in games. Is early on, I'm very completionist, and I'm trying to do
Yeah.
everything, which is why then if the story ends up being not compelling enough from my perspective, I will wane on a game because I've done so much of the gameplay that now it's stale, it stagnates, and the story isn't
Yeah.
compelling enough to
I
me.
definitely, yeah, no. There's so many times, especially in open world, I feel,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like it's really hard to balance. Well, how much is the player gonna explore,
Yeah,
aka level up? So as a trophy hunter slash completionist, like by the time I get to the last boss, it's like I'm so flipping almost OP that
yeah.
I'm just like, well, this kind of takes out the stakes of the of the story.
I have the problem, like, let's say you have a game where there's 10 unique maps as you're progressing the story. Like, maps 1 through 4, I have every single thing unlocked.
Yeah.
5, 6, and 7, I have a chunk of things unlocked. 8, 9, and 10, there's a straight line path through the plot going to the end of the game.
Oh my
Because I
goodness.
feel myself getting bored.
Right.
So, like, I beeline the plot. I'm like, no, I must complete it. And, like,
Yeah.
I ignore
I get
all
you.
other things on the side. Like,
That makes sense.
so, and like I said, and this is like a flaw I know of my play style. So I try to like
Yeah.
work around it sometimes, but it still catches me sometimes. And like Ghost of Tsushima, that happened to me. I spent so much time doing everything that eventually the gameplay was all the same. My character wasn't changing, leveling up, the gear wasn't improving, like nothing was changing, and I had so much of the game left. I'm like, I no.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, I guess. Yeah, like I can see where you got there. I also just love how beautiful that game is.
Oh yeah, no, it is stunning.
So it was
Like
really fun to like go to the different islands cuz it like, it looked different.
yeah,
And so it was really pretty to go through.
so
Elliot, what about you?
I think so. My problem is, so like with Red Dead Redemption 2, so I never finished it. I got like most of the way through the game, but like I got really into doing the unique hunts.
okay,
So
Okay.
going and finding like the unique armadillo up into like the unique like bears and all that. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
was like scooting through the story, and then I got to a point where I was just like, oh wow, I found like a couple of these unique monsters, unique animals. It's like I'll go and do those. And then by the time I'd like worked all that stuff out and done it all and like gone and made outfits and stuff, in my head I'd finished the game because I'd given myself a target and then I'd done it. And I never hit the end of the story, which is like a real shame because apparently the end of the story is like super good. And I was just like, well, shit. But like, I think I struggled with The Witcher, like The Witcher 3, like I've never been able to finish it. And I think it's just because,
oh, wow.
like the same way as Gray said, like there's so many things you can do. So you go and do them all. So like I'm picking up all the Witcher hunts and I'm getting like prepared and doing all the oils and and like leveling up. And it got to a point where like the fights get so rinse and repeat, and I've already rinsed and repeated them so many times that I almost don't want to finish the story, even though because there's plot there, which should be my driving factor. But the plot is every 20 minutes I get 3 minutes of a cutscene for a plot. But the 20 minutes is just like it feels dull because it's just me going through the motions to get to the next bit of plot.
Yep.
And I think like I just trap myself in that. Yeah. Like it happens to me a lot with a lot of games.
Is it all the games or open world games? Because I feel like this is a flaw in open world games specifically.
Yeah, perspectively, but like I do the same thing that where Dasta said in the chat, where like completing Dragon Age took ages because like you go away for it too long, and then so with Hollow Knight, the first time I played it, I got stuck on a boss for like ages, and I basically just got frustrated with it, and then I stopped playing for ages. And then when I went back, I was like, I don't have the muscle memory to progress. Yeah. Like I've lost enough muscle memory that I physically can't. I can't beat the basic enemies in the area I'm in.
Right.
And it's hard to, because obviously the game like introduces mechanics as you go on, and you can't do that a second time. Like you can't reintroduce the mechanics. Yeah. So I had to start again, and then I did that, beat the boss that I was on, and then recently I picked up the game again, but I had to start again because I was like, well, I can't go straight back into where I was, so I've got to start again. So I always like to progress a little bit further each time.
Yeah.
So I think like a lot of my backlog's that. And then I think I also do what you do, because I've got like the Darksiders trilogy. When the third game came out, I was like, oh yeah, really, I should play the first two again and then play 3. And I've never found the time to do it because I'll then go like, oh, I just got a hold of this game, but like I've had Darksiders for ages, so I don't need to play it now. So I just play this other thing that I just got, or like, oh, a new game came out, or I just changed my stream game, so like I'm gonna play this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a nightmare for it.
Yeah. Now that I've gotten into indie games, and they're like so much cheaper than the, $60. I'm just like, oh, well, it's so much more appealing.
Yeah.
And then like, I swear Sony or PlayStation has like a sale like every 2 weeks. And it's always like 75% off. And I'm like, oh, I gotta buy some games. Like, this is the time.
I mean, that was me with Last of Us Part 2.
Recently. Huh?
That was me with Last of Us Part 2. I was like, what's my next game? I was like, 50% off. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I recently bought Death Stranding because it was like 70% off.
Yeah.
And as if I'm ever going to find the time to play the 800-hour Death Stranding walking simulator. Like, I bought it because I was like, oh, big discount. And like, it's a good enough game that I'm going to enjoy it at like 10, 15 quid or whatever it was. Yeah. And then I bought it and I put in Discord like, oh yeah, I'm finally going to play Death Stranding. And everyone just went, when? When are you going to play Death Stranding? You're supposed to be playing Control and Discord. Haven't touched that in weeks. And I was just, why would you attack me?
Oh, that is true. The PlayStation Plus games that you get for free every month, like I'll always download them. And there are some that I'm like, oh, I'm interested in this one. Like Control was free.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, cool. Like
I love Control.
Now I can play it whenever, which is code for never. I'm never going to play it.
Now that I've got access to it, I don't need to urgently play it. You can sit here on the shelf with its friends.
I love Control, but I do the same thing. Like with Twitch, I every month I check those games, add to library, add to library, add to library. Epic, I have the Epic because I have Epic games. Like every month or every week or so, Epic gives a free game. I'm on there claiming my free game. Like I have all these free games, and I'm like, I have zero interest in at least 85% of them, and the other 15, it's that thing of, well, now I own it, so I can play it whenever I won't.
Yeah, whenever I won't. Yeah, for sure. Like, definitely. That's how I feel about most of them. However, there was the one Marquette that came out, or Marquet, or however you pronounce, that it was like a witness-like puzzle game. Let me download and play this immediately. I don't care what I had scheduled that day. Like, I played it that day.
Yeah.
And so that's what's nice about the Plus
Yeah,
games.
it's weird what games just jump to the head of your list without any real reason.
No hesitation. I've never heard of it before. I looked at it and it was like a puzzle game and it had like the Witness like graphics and I went, I'm checking this out immediately.
Yeah, it's like I've been waiting for this AAA game for 3 years. It releases today. I can't wait to play it. Oh, some guy named Steve gave this free game away. That looks interesting. Like you just, I don't know who Steve is, but
yeah. I've heard very good things about the Game Pass. Speaking of free games, like
yeah,
the Microsoft Xbox Game Pass, I hear such good things and it sounds amazing. I can't wait till PlayStation has a similar situation, which I know they've been working on. So we'll see how it goes. But if it's like another additional cost, I'm gonna be upset.
it's gotta
It
be.
should be just like I hope it's somehow included with the Plus, which is also extra.
Yeah,
But we'll see. I'm interested.
yeah.
Or Xbox just put in their thing of like free games should be free.
Yeah.
Which they were like doing a big deal of.
Wait, what do you mean?
So like stuff like Fortnite and things where it's like it needs internet, but they're free games. Like you don't pay for them. So they're obviously like you used to need gold. So you'd have to pay for gold to play online games.
Oh, okay.
They've basically changed that now. So it's like if you want to play Rocket League, Fortnite, Paladins, I suppose. Like Apex, like those free games.
Those free to play online
play
games.
those online, like
yeah.
Yeah, like you're now able to play those without that gold sub, so you can play them on silver.
Yeah. No, what I really like about the Game Pass is that it seems like brand new games are like put on there. So you're paying the monthly fee of like, Turtle says $15, $10. But it seems like you're able to play like brand new games as well as the free indies that they put on there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I'm like, well, that's freaking cool. I'm like, I would love to just pay one price and then you can check out, a revolving group of games. But
that's why I used to like GameFly.
It's not everything that's on there, but like
this
they
would
have.
just be on my console.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's more advantageous. But that's when I used to do a lot more console game than PC game. That's why I love GameFly. Like it was the price of a new game every 3 months, but I would, I was going through games faster than that. Like
exactly. I know that's what Totally Serial uses a lot.
Yeah.
Is GameFly. He really likes it.
So.
I think because Xbox made a really big deal, so when they released the whatever it is, Series X, Series S, whatever the small boy was, when they released that, they did the whole thing of like, oh, you can get it on a payment plan, and that payment plan will include the Game Pass, and it effectively gives you like a budget box that can run these games, maybe not at like the perfect specs, but it can run these games. You plonk it in your lounge, and you instantly have access to this backlog of games, which also we're going to be adding new games into.
Yeah.
And like, I think it probably like absolutely bumped their sales for that console of just people being like, I can just buy that thing and it comes on a payment plan that's 0% interest. And it's just like,
and you get free games to play on it.
Yeah. And I've always got a game.
Well,
I've always got a game to play on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's super cool. I still don't know how like they're making money off of it. I'm like, how are you offering these $60 games and people are paying $15? I guess because it's monthly, but I still don't my mind can't wrap around like
because
of
it's a numbers game. The amount of people playing versus the amount of people actually taking advantage of it isn't 1 to 1. So like,
I just find that so hard to believe, but yeah, because it's optional.
Yeah. So like a lot of people are paying for it and they might get a game every couple months and that's where they're making their money. Other people who are getting a game every week and they're in theory losing money there, but enough are doing the other way. That's how gift cards make money.
True.
Gift cards make money because the number of people who throw it away when there's like $1 or less in it.
Yeah.
So
or
like that,
they get it, but they don't use it like as a gift,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like there's profit there. Same thing here. People are paying for it, but aren't always doing it. So it's just profit.
Crazy.
I mean, also I think with the console game, especially like getting your console in someone's house is half the challenge. Because you need them to like make this like big up front, but then once they've got one, they're probably not going to get both. Like most households won't get both. I mean, there's going to be some people that do.
Yeah, because Sony and
like
Xbox have always lost money selling a console.
But once it's in there, once that's the console you've got, if you're releasing games for it, like people are gonna buy games. Like it's just like they're gonna.
Crazy.
So I think that's a large part of it. Is they just made it like, I think Xbox basically looked at what Sony was doing, and I think they just went, "What if we just made ours super accessible?"
Yeah.
Like it's
Sony's got a
small,
good idea. Let's just make it better.
Make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, like I think the Xbox is like, because it's a smaller console, it's more like unassuming. Like if you walk in a room and there's an Xbox and a PlayStation on either end of like a stand, you're gonna see the PlayStation. But like if you want something that just kind of lives in a TV stand and no one ever has to see it, like you just put your Xbox down the back and it's done. Like it's easy.
It's so unassuming.
Yeah. You don't need to invent a thing, you just need to perfect it.
Agreed.
So meanwhile, Nintendo's over here with their two gerbils and a wheel trying to get their internet to work. I'm like,
when it came out that they were still
the
using the same internet that was like from the GameCube or something, it's just like, sorry, what?
Well, like, there's this really interesting story. I don't remember a lot of the details. It's been years. But around the GameCube, like that time when like Nintendo was first dabbling with like their online like gameplay, they did nothing in house. They contracted through another company to handle their servers and like do all that. And Nintendo basically caused that company to go bankrupt because people kept blaming that company for all the problems. And like years later, like they put out an article talking about it because their non-disclosures and stuff were up. They're like, no, you don't understand. Nintendo told us nothing. Like we knew like this game was going to be online, so like, but Nintendo would give us no details, no specs about what they want to do. So we'd start like kind of rough planning generic stuff, and then like 3 days before release, Nintendo's like, we need it to do this, and like left the company scrambling, and then they couldn't get it to do that thing, and like Nintendo kept doing that. So like that company kept getting the bad rep, and like just went fucking under because of it. And like Nintendo just, I don't know what their online presence is doing. Like I love Nintendo. Like I love their games, their products, stuff like that. But like whatever they're trying to do with online, like they keep trying to stick to these friend codes and these like weird rules, and like I don't get it.
Yeah.
So like Sony's coming up with ideas, Microsoft is perfecting it, and again Nintendo's just like eating sand in the sandbox. Like
yeah. But it's funny because like they'll come out with these revolutionary, like the Switch was huge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like
I mean, this is it. Like they've always gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Because they're super tight with their IP. So if you want to play Nintendo games, you have to be engaged with Nintendo like directly.
Yeah.
And because they're like such an old name as well, like I think like they get a lot of leeway. Like people are just like just Nintendo doing Nintendo stuff, and then they forgive them instantly. It's like, but they got Mario, so
yeah,
I think that's just like how it is.
There was a point where Xbox was the top shit, and Sony had like done like the Wii U or something or like they weren't doing too great because they kind of had a bit of a flop in there or whatever. So like Xbox was like, hey guys, we'll buy you, and Sony and Nintendo just fucking laughed them out of the meeting. There was no like play. They literally just started laughing, and like it was like Xbox was like, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave now.
Like we thought like you guys weren't doing too good. And you jump at the offer. No, just fucking laugh their asses off and like get the fuck out. We're Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
I know it's always so frustrating when like PlayStation gets like a bad rap for like having exclusives, but like Nintendo never gets that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, that's because if all your games are exclusives, then nothing's exclusive. So they don't have to label it because it's like every single game on the Switch is Nintendo only.
I mean, I guess, but I just don't know. I don't get it.
Can't see the trees for the forest with Nintendo. It's just
it's frustrating. I'm a frustrated PlayStation girl.
Yeah, see, so like Microsoft and Sony are playgrounds. So you get upset when one has a certain thing, like one has a teeter-totter, one doesn't. One has like a really nice slide, one doesn't. Nintendo is just a swing set. It may be on a playground, but it's just the swing set. So you don't get mad that it's a swing set. You're just like, oh, I'm on a swing set because it's a swing set.
Like, yeah.
Sometimes you just want to swing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's fine. They're safe. They're good for kids. And sometimes you just want it simple.
Yeah, you just want to swing them.
You ain't always got to be at the top of a jungle gym, dude.
Oh, what a weird analogy, but I'm very proud of it.
Meanwhile, the other playgrounds are like experimenting with like different turf and like different sand qualities.
Yeah, like so you criticize the individual elements on them, but again, you just got the swing set. It's just a swing set.
So funny. I like it.
So.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing was because I think we discussed it on the podcast like when it happened, but like when Horizon Zero Dawn came to PC and there was loads of PlayStation people like, no.
Oh yeah,
they got my toys.
I know they're so upset. I was never upset. I was glad because I think that game's really good, and if it can like offer it to, I understand exclusives. I love exclusives. But like, I don't mind if it's like 3 years after the fact that they would give it to other people. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, because at that point, a lot of times it's like that game company's like, listen, you all got it, you all played it. We would like to make some more money off it.
Yeah.
We're gonna take some effort, put it on this, and make a lot of money. We're just gonna do that.
Plus, if that makes more exclusives, or if that makes like, because now people will be excited for the sequel.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to wait, then they'll go to PlayStation. Yeah. And so it's like that's fine with me.
Yeah. When it's years later, it only helps both the original console and the game company. And if you love the game, you should want to help the game company.
Exactly.
But in actual fact, a lot of them just want to laud the fact they have access to something and other people don't.
Yes.
Right.
They're like, hey, you can't play Horizon though.
I just think that's a little petty at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you've literally had Horizon Zero Dawn for so long.
I swear, like, because you used to have like the PS2 exclusives, it'd be like PS2 exclusive. But if you looked into it, it was like exclusive for like X amount of time. It was like 6 months or a year or something. Like it was never. I mean, like Bloodborne never went anywhere else. They were just like, yep,
yeah,
you
I was
get it.
like, I
get
think
on the
most
PS3,
of them were never
PS4,
everywhere else.
Which is funny because that's the game where a lot of PlayStation owners are like, man, I wish they'd do a PC port of that. Like that's the option. They're mad there isn't a one.
I just want Bloodborne with mods, please.
Oh,
have you seen the Kingdom Hearts mods?
Oh my gosh. No. What?
So Kingdom Hearts came to PC. We were modding the shit out of it, and some of them are brilliant. I've seen Thomas the Tank Engine in there.
I was actually literally about to mention Thomas the Tank.
Giant frying pan.
Because
like, as his weapon, it's like the size of a house, and he's just wailing it around.
My friends and I have concluded, a game is popular if 2 mods exist. One is always a nudity mod, and the second one is a Thomas the Tank mod. If you don't have those 2 mods for your game, you are not a popular game.
That's so funny.
Like that's the rule. Like if you have those mods, you know it's a popular game.
So that is one thing that I do enjoy on PC games is how easy it is to mod and how easy it is to put those
nudity mods.
To put your mods.
One thing I love about my PC
game.
games.
Like that's super accessible.
Yeah.
And so I like there's a couple games like normally I'm like I really don't play modded games, not even just because I don't play PC, but just because I don't see a need for it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But like the one game that really came up was Stardew, and like playing that on the console and then like seeing the mods that exist on PC version, I was like, I wish I could just easily be like, can I add this quality of life thing, please? On a console.
When I play a PC game, one of the first things I do is I go and check for quality of life mods. I don't look for game-breaking mods. Like a second playthrough, 100%. Give me some game-breaking shit. I want to just completely go crazy. But like first time, like I want some quality of life mods. Like when I played Witcher, I disabled fall damage because there's very few times where it actually comes up in the game. But when it does happen, it's just an inconvenience.
Yeah, agreed with that.
So like,
I died. I think that was like the number one way I died was just slipping off of a cliff.
Or even running through town and you hop over what you think is a small ledge and you drop to like.
Yeah.
So like things like that. I'm like, no. Like quality of life mods are things I always look for when I first play a PC game. And then like if it's a second or third playthrough, I'm like, all right, what kind of wild and crazy stuff can I do? Like,
Because
and
you're
real
a
quick,
couple of wild and crazy guys.
and like that's like Skyrim and Fallout. Like those games have lasted as long as they have because of the quality of their game and the quality of their mods.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the Skyrim mods are like standalone games.
Yeah, Enderall.
Mm-hmm.
Enderall
They
is a
literally
complete
just went.
standalone game based off of
With
Skyrim.
like voice acting, right?
Yeah, voice acting, its own custom map, custom stories,
Crazy.
like it's intense. Like I've played like 60, 70 hours of it. Like it's completely its own beast.
Crazy.
On the subject of voice acting and mods, there was someone that made a mod, I think, for The Witcher recently, and they basically used an AI to break down the voice acting so they could recreate the mod lines in
Yeah.
the actual voice actors' voices. And some people got big angry about it because
I
they were
mean,
like, "You've basically stolen that dude's voice."
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Like,
I'm
they're
like,
not
I
getting
don't know
paid
how
for
I
that.
feel about this because, like, kinda.
yeah,
I don't.
that's
Yeah,
that
I don't
shaky
like
ground
that.
of like that's kind of cool that you can do that, and then it's
Yeah,
you just rob someone of a paycheck. That's not kind of cool. Like,
It's cool that you did it, but it's not cool that you're taking.
it's cool that you did it, but don't
Don't
yeah,
do that.
just
It costs
don't.
you nothing to not do that.
But I was like reading it and being like, kinda, but like either because really the options would be the mod wouldn't be voiced, or they would pay the voice actor, which like is probably never gonna happen.
Right.
So like, because a modder, especially because a lot of mods like you don't make money on them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were selling the mod, I would have absolutely been like 100% yes. No, you can't fucking do that. That's like harsh as fuck.
Yeah, but even if you're not making money on a project, it's known
Yeah,
you need to
you're
pay the voice actor for their work. Like,
yeah, no,
we're
absolutely.
not in the job for exposure bucks over here.
No, yeah. So that's like, so I was like a bit kind of yes and no,
Right.
but I was like probably mostly no. Like, don't do
Yeah.
that because especially because like it's a real person's voice.
Right.
Like you could make that shit say anything, especially now the technology's like everyone knows it exists.
Yeah.
So I mean, we already had like the period of time where deep fakes were like the trend of the internet, and now
Deepfakes
you
are
can
so
recreate people's
scary.
voices as well. So you can effectively deep fake someone and use AI to mine their
well, we've
voice.
been able to
and
do
then
that
make...
for a while with the voices. Like even early on in the Obama presidency, like there were people who were showing like deep fakes of Obama and stuff like that, like with full
Yeah.
voicing, because there's enough speech out there, you get enough variables in the
Oh, I
vernacular.
thought that because with a lot of the stuff, I thought it was like someone talking, and it was like because a lot of the deep fake stuff, it was like they put the face over your face whilst you talk on a video.
Well, you have
So I've
those,
seen a lot
but
where it's
like
people doing impressions.
yeah, no, as far back as early parts of the, and it could be earlier than that, but I know during the Obama administration, like the early on is when I first saw like things popping up of them talking about how there's enough speeches out there from even just running for presidency that he's done all of the necessary pitches for them to replicate, and they did examples and stuff like that. And it was all
Oof.
AI.
I remember, like, even when I was in middle school, you could do like an Arnold Schwarzenegger like voice and have him like say anything.
Yeah.
So crazy. The world be crazy. We're in a Mission Impossible world where these spies can do shit.
So a quick side note, and then I think we'll probably call it because it's 3 o'clock. But Stephen Hawking, the reason he used the same voice program, despite technology getting way better, is the guy who created that was like a friend of his, and like he was like dying, and like before he passed away, he took the time to record everything necessary for the device because he passed before it fully finished. I believe like there's some timing like that, and like this was a good personal friend of Stephen Hawking. So as time went on, despite the fact that better technology and better things existed, he kept to that because it was his friend's voice and it was a dedication to him by his friend, which is why
Oh
like
wow.
all through Stephen Hawking's life, he always had that same voice program because like this was like a friend's gift to him as his friend passed away, and he's like, no, this means stuff to me more so than like it does its job, and it means so much that I don't see the need to do the quote unquote better things.
Right. Oh wow.
So
Emotional.
long story short, pay your voice actors.
Yeah, just don't steal IP, even if that IP is
Agreed.
someone's voice.
Now, would this be an episode of the podcast if we don't bring up anime?
You got a point. We can't close without bringing up anime. I haven't watched Mugen Train yet, but I'm very excited.
I watched it yesterday.
I know. I saw you tweet about it, and I'm really excited to watch it. I have not But
Do you have a plan to watch it?
I plan on watching it soon, but I don't have a plan.
A day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good. That's all I wanted to say.
yep. But I am 100%.
I need to watch an anime. Before next podcast, I will watch an anime. Not
Like-
a whole
Demon
one.
Slayer.
I was
I'll
gonna say,
watch some
what do you
of
mean,
them.
like an
Wait,
episode or
I
like?
did. I have watched an anime. I was watching the Dota anime, and it's really fucking good. They made a Dota anime on Netflix, and it's all about Dragon Knight. And it's I thought it was going to be really weird because Dota has like huge amounts of lore behind it. But I thought they were just going to try and make something that was like the game, but they didn't. They picked like a character and went like, here's his extensively cool backstory, and the combat in it's sick.
Do you know how
And
much of my opinion
I've-
changed of you when I saw how much Dota you've played?
so many people, so
I
many
had
people
no
either
idea you
replied to
played
that tweet
game.
or like messaged me, and they were like, how have you played like 2,000 hours of Dota? And I was just like, I started playing when a friend invited me. You used to have to be invited to play, and you had to play like 40 hours of tutorial and bot games before they'd even let you queue.
Yeah, no,
And
I saw
then
that tweet and I
so I did
immediately
all that,
liked
and
you
then I played
less.
for years.
I was like, man, I used to respect this guy, and now
Nope, absolutely do not respect me whatsoever. But if you need someone to deny creeps, I'm all about it.
you don't need to respect me. You just need to admit my skill.
You just
Knowledge
need
is
to
good.
fear me.
Yeah.
Yep, and then
But
my
yeah,
hero.
you should watch Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Demon Slayer is really good. Well, I mean,
And it's only one season, so you can get it done by next podcast.
in my
Have either
opinion,
of you
Demon
watched,
Slayer starts out very slow and generic, but it gets very good.
Have either of you watched Shadow and Bone?
I
No,
hear
that's
very
the
good.
Netflix, right?
Everyone's going ape shit about
They're
it.
going nuts. I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna trash it next podcast.
See,
I feel like the same because I
Terry
saw the
tweeted about it,
trailers
being
and went,
like,
"This
I
looks
know.
like pure trash."
I haven't seen anything of it. I know it's based off of a book, and I've seen those book covers multiple times. So
There's only 8 episodes.
Yeah, I thought the trailer looked like it was going to be pure trash, and it is getting amazing reviews. And I'm like, maybe I need to watch it.
yeah, I'm gonna
Terry,
homework. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna trash
Terry
it so hard.
tweeted literally just watching Shadow and Bone. And it's the best thing I've watched in years. I think it was.
All right.
Yeah, he said in a while.
So chat, guess that's all everyone's homework. We're all gonna watch the 8 episodes of Shadow and Bone. You have 2 weeks to complete your homework assignment. You don't have to write anything up because this isn't school, so just watch it.
Do I have to write stuff up?
Yes, only you though.
So 2 weeks time, we'll just review Shadow and Bone.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
down.
I'm
do it.
absolutely down for this.
All right, that'll be our.
I'll pause Naruto. I just got back into it. I'll pause it again.
And My Hero is 5 episodes into its current season. So.
Oh. Ooh. I'll have to go on Crunchyroll.
So Shadow and Bone,
I'll wait for the English
Netflix.
dub.
I'm pretty sure it's in like Netflix's like top 10 like for the past
Yeah.
several days, so it's easy to find.
And Bone.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, and that's how I like it. So.
All right.
The fact that one of the tags for it is teen worries me incredibly.
It's a CW show for Netflix.
Man,
I don't know. I really like Lock and Key, and I think it might be some like kind of that caliber. And if it is, then it's really good.
I enjoyed Lock and Key a lot more than I thought I was gonna.
Same.
Lock and Key had the same like promo problems that I feel like Stranger Things did, where you saw a bunch of kids and you thought it was going to be a kid show, and then like you're
it's
watching it and you see some girl shove a kid into a fire, killing him, and you're like, okay, then I guess this is not a kid show.
Yeah, Lock and Key was very unsettling.
Yeah,
Okay, the concept for it sounds really good though.
Lock and
It's
Key.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
just
I said,
I just
very
googled it. I'd
excited
never
for
even
season
heard of
2.
it. I just googled it and
the
just
main
went,
cast
"Ooh."
are kids, but it's not a kid show.
That's your
Excellent.
other homework, Elliot. You gotta watch Shadow and Bone and Lock and Key, because that's another one that only has 1 season, so it's very quick to watch.
Yeah. So
you have a lot of homework, Elliot.
Oh no.
all right, man. What was my hotkey for all our social medias? Was it 8? I think it's 8. Is it 8?
I don't know.
It was 8.
I don't know. Maybe 7.
There.
Why 8?
It's
No,
the best number.
because it wasn't being used. So 1 goes to just me. Well, me focus
Fine.
with you guys. 2 goes to platinum. 3 is you. 5 is the group.
I got the highest number.
4 mutes. 6 I don't think does anything yet. 7 and 9 go between the intro and the outro, and then 8 now became the social medias.
Excellent.
Okay. I'm Platinum Trophy Wife. You can find me at twitch.tv/Platinum Trophy Wife, and then Instagram is Plat Trophy Wife, and so is Twitter. Woo! Did it.
Yeah, I'm Blindside. You can find me on TV/BlindsideUK, or I'm on Twitter at Blindside_UK.
I'm Grey Wolves. If you're watching this on YouTube, you already know where I am, but you can find me on YouTube. If you're watching this on Twitch, you already know where I am. I'm also on Twitter at Wolves1226. Boom. Bye.
Nice.
Easy.
Bye.
There we